Hello, Weekend Crafter! Welcome back to the Craft Time Studio. I'm Ange, your Weekend Crafter, and for this weekend, I wanted to share with you some earring ideas for summer. I've done something similar in the past where I incorporated found shells with my clay, and I'll be sharing a link above in case you haven't checked it out. So before we begin, make sure that your work surface is clean. I use a glass mat, and so I just quickly spritz it with some alcohol and wipe it down. Next, I'm bringing out Sculpey Primo Translucent, my alcohol inks, and some found shells. I'm going to do this faux sea glass technique that I've seen shared on Instagram. I cut a piece of translucent clay and pass it through my roller. I actually don't pass it through the roller too much because I noticed that when I did multiple passes to my translucent clay through the roller, it gets more air bubbles trapped between the layers, which is very visible once the clay is baked. Then I got a cotton bud and dipped it in my ink, and then I just spread this across the flattened slab. I let this dry out for a bit before coming in with a medium grit sandpaper and adding a bit of texture. If you've ever come across sea glass, you will note that some of them have this texture and they're not completely smooth. Next, I get this cutter that has a bit of an organic shape and punch through this. Now it's time to get my pieces baked. Once it's baked, I come in with a manual drill to put my holes in. The use of the manual drill is a recent discovery for me, and I'm getting pretty fond of it. Because sometimes, no matter how careful I am with punching using my microcircular cutter, I still distort my clay a bit. And now it's time to attach the shell. Whenever I go to the beach, I actually look for these shells that already have a hole in them. Shells are notoriously hard, but there are certain snails and other creatures that can drill holes in them organically, which is very convenient for me because that means I don't have to drill through them. So I just use this existing hole to attach the shell to the faux sea glass and then to the earring finding. And while obviously these two shells are not identical, they are similar enough to go together. I really love this project because it's so simple and the faux technique is really effective. Now let's make the second piece, and we are going to have to mix some Sculpey Primo in white with Sculpey Primo in gray granite to get this sandy white color. Then, I use a rubber stamp of a flower and some mica. I first get my stamp moist by getting some ink on it. Then, I place it on the mica and stamp it on my clay. Finally, I get the same cutter that I used previously. And then I clean up the excess mica with a little bit of alcohol on my cotton bud. Then, this gets baked following the instructions on the packaging. Again, I use my manual drill, and once I have the holes in place, I attach the jump rings. Since this pair are dangling earrings, I add another jump ring so that the pieces hang on the ear correctly. Finally, I attach a broken cowrie shell at the bottom of the clay piece. By the way, if you haven't yet guessed, the clay piece is inspired by the sand dollar, which has a flower-looking center. I hope that I was able to inspire you to make your own mixed media earrings for summer. As usual, have a crafty weekend. And if you haven't yet, I hope that you consider liking and subscribing to the Craft Time Studio. Bye!